Star Network is.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Today's Thursday, February 5th, 2026, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. I'll talk to the lone Maryland senator who is taking a stand to get a vote on redistricting. Why did he seem like he got called to the principal's office? Yeah, we got him right here on the show. Talk about what went down there. Let's go to Virginia, where Democrats have reached a 10-1 agreement on a new congressional map, calling the new map a step towards fair representation and transparency for the 2026 midterms. Take that, Donald Trump. Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson will be here to discuss why he signed an executive order making the city the first in the nation to use their local law enforcement to hold ICE agents accountable. Donald Trump insults Democrats at today's National Prayer Breakfast. Why did that fake Christian be allowed to speak? Ooh, and wait until we play you the prayer of Congressman Jonathan Jackson, who was really talking about Donald Trump's moral shortcomings. A young black Virginia middle school student stood before the Prince William County Public School Board to address the bullying he's endured because of his race. In tonight's Black Star Network Marketplace segment, a beauty brand inspired by tragedy, the creator of Lamech Beauty is redefining intentional beauty and better health for black women. Also, Donald Trump keeps attacking black people while they're removing brochures from the Medgar Evers National Monument, the home where he was shot and killed, and why are they afraid to call the racist who killed him a racist? Yeah, I got to talk about that. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
Folks, because of what Republicans did in Texas and elsewhere, Maryland House chose to push forward a new redistricting plan that would penalize Republicans and truly make it a blue state. Well, you got the Senate president in Maryland who says, no, there's no votes here. We don't want to change it. Well, Senator Arthur Ellis, is taking a stand. He actually has launched a public one-man protest against Senate President Bill Ferguson's plan to stall the map in the Senate. Now, here's what was said today on the floor of the Senate. I'm going to play some of this. I'm going to talk to Senator Ellis. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues. I rise to give the first Black History Month speech of the year. I will do it a little different, tell you some names you've never heard before. If you heard it, they're not in many history books or monuments in the nation. The title of this presentation is The Architects of Freedom, the Unsung Black Women of the Civil Rights Movement. And it's time, it's only take 3 minutes. When we look at the archives of the Civil Rights Movement, we often see a series of iconic men at the microphone. I apologize, I'm at the microphone too, but But if you look at the legal briefs, the grassroots organizing, and the radical strategy, you will find the true architects, black women. These women were not just the backbone of the movement, they were the brains and its soul. They navigated a triple jeopardy.
All right, folks. So it was a 6.5-minute speech that he actually gave. Senator Ellis joins us right now from Waldorf, Maryland. Glad to have you here. So first of all, this is what I don't understand. Democrats control the House in Maryland. They control the Senate in Maryland. They control the governor's mansion in Maryland. The Supreme Court has, first of all, Maryland has the largest black legislative caucus of any state in the country. Also, it's a blue state. The Supreme Court has said that political gerrymandering is allowed. Well, Republicans in Texas changed the map. Republicans in Missouri, they axed the congressional district of Congressman Emanuel Cleaver. Republicans in North Carolina axed the district of Congressman Don Davis. The last time, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis put forth his own map over the objections of the Republican legislature, wiped out a black seat in Florida as well. And then you see where Senator Louise Lucas and Virginia Speaker Don Scott are moving forward with a plan there in Virginia. What I don't understand is why are so many scared Democrat senators in Maryland when it's clear Republicans want to maximize the map to their advantage?
So that's an excellent question, Roland, and it's good to be with you. So the answer is in the state of California, where the Supreme Court came out and said that Democratic state is okay, that what they did in California is okay. So that even took away any excuse that my colleagues will have in the Senate of Maryland about going forward with redistricting. It's okay. It's constitutional according to the highest court in the land. And so I've really objected to the leadership in the Senate not having debates on this issue, not even in the back rooms. We hear about backroom politics. I'm in the back rooms, and the debate was even silenced in the back room. I'm like, you kidding me? And so I had to really take a deep dive in history and our ancestors and how they stood up and how they were able to put themselves out there, being able to and willing to be ostracized, to be beaten. We think about John Lewis, and all of these ladies who really let out, Pauli Murray and Fannie Hamer. It's amazing how they stood out, left their comfort zone to make a statement that had to be made at that time. And I believe my protest on the Senate floor today was that statement I have to make in this very, very crucial time in American history.
Now, let me be very clear. I was very opposed to what Republicans did in Texas. But the position that I've always said is, if y'all going to play a game by a different set of rules, well then I'm going to play the same game with your rules. What I'm not going to do is abide by the old rules and tie my hands behind my back, put a straitjacket on and some duct tape and handcuffs, while y'all get to just beat me over the head. And I've always said, my biggest problem with Democrats is Democrats want to always be fair when the opposition wants to win and exert power.
And I agree with that. And we have to stand up now. We have to say, it's not about fairness. It's not about rightness. It's about our citizens being represented. So most of our Democratic representatives in Texas and other states are being eliminated. If we have a chance in these majority Democratic states to negate that movement, we have to engage. We cannot unilaterally disarm. Imagine us as a military man, I'll use some military examples, Imagine the United States give up all our nuclear weapons and say, Russia, we don't believe in nuclear arms anymore. I hope you really be nice to us and don't really use your nukes on us. Everyone in this country will think we are nuts, we are crazy. You do not unilaterally disarm. You have to fight power with power. And you cannot be afraid. As leaders, our job is to be bold and get out there and engage for our constituency, for the rights of our citizens and our voters to really live the American dream, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
So,
when you
right. So here's my question. So how many black state senators in Maryland?
I think we have 16 currently.
So
16 black senators.
You got
pretty much almost 50% of the Democratic caucus.
So you got 16 black state senators. You're the only one who wants to say, let's debate the map?
Well, others say it and say it privately. I am the only one so far today to stand up and to say, no, we will not be suppressed. We will not be silent. We will not roll over and play dead in the Senate of Maryland. We will use all the tools at our disposal to bring this issue to the floor and to cause that level of discomfort. How can any Democratic leader in any body of government disregard a duly elected Democratic governor of a state? And how can we disregard the opposite chamber run by colleague Democrats when they gave us a map and we just say, hey, no, we're not going to consider it. We will not consider that bill. We don't feel like doing it. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I guess for me, my whole deal is have the courage and vote. If you don't want to do it, have the courage, have the debate, cast your ballot, yay or nay, and listen. And if it fails in Maryland like it did in Indiana, so be it.
But it will not fail in Maryland if it hits the Senate floor. Guaranteed it will not fail.
So what you're saying is that
all these.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All these Democrats in Maryland are elected by Democratic voters. The Democrats, I can't tell you one that's elected by Republican voters. All of us have to stand for re-election in the primary election come this June. We really need to recognize the people who send us here. We are not the bosses. The people who put us here are the boss of us, and they tell us, engage. We weren't sent here by a majority of Republicans. Every election I run in, I have Republican opponents, and the people by 3-1 margin select me to come here to Annapolis to espouse their values. And that's same for the vast majority of my fellow Democratic colleagues. So think about your voters.
So what you're saying is that the reason the Senate president won't bring it to the floor because he knows it's going to pass, and the other people are like, man, go ahead and protect us so we don't have to vote on it.
Well, that's a conclusion. I can't get into the Senate president's head why he does what he does, but the matter is the Senate president is not my boss. Other senators might call him boss, which they do, but he's not my boss. He didn't hire me, and he can't fire me. For this power position, I would never, ever be hired by a white guy. And I'm 64 years old. In the Air Force, fighting for promotions, fighting discrimination, working for civilian agency in the federal government. It's been harassment every single way, preventing my advancement. And a lot of my constituents have the same experience, whether it's working for the private company or for the federal government or state government. So I'm sent here to be that independent voice, to say I have 0 bosses in the capital, the state capital of Annapolis. And I represent, and my bosses are in the Waldorf area and all over District 28 of Charles County, Maryland. Those are my bosses, and those are people I call boss. And they're telling me, you get up here in Annapolis and you speak up. and don't respect anybody up there who disrespect us, the voters who sent you to Annapolis. And not having a debate on this redistricting bill is a disrespect of my voters who tell me, I get so many calls today and before, like, y'all need to approve that map. We need to stand up to the Trump administration and we need to fight back. And so I'm just obeying my bosses and carrying out my instructions from the voters who sent me here in Annapolis.
A last question. Did the Senate President pull you aside and have a conversation with you about your stand?
So there are several conversations over the last few months. Most recently in Democratic caucus meeting, I tried to get the discussion going and asked for a straw poll, and it was really crickets, right? Nothing. And then that was Tuesday of this week. And then Thursday, the Black senators, we had a meeting with the Senate President and his staff, and it was well discussed. And we left the meeting with no answer about the things that we care about. Status quo. So the Senate President forced my hand and remind him again that you're not my boss. You cannot, and no one here can silence me in my constitutional free speech, protected legislative speech here in Annapolis and on the Senate floor.
Well, there we go. Senator Arthur Ellis, I appreciate it. I really hope that that this vote actually takes place. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, sir. Going to bring in my panel, Zabor G, DEIA consultant, employment specialist out of D.C., Dr. Greg Carr, Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University, also D.C., Thelma Lawyer Bay Anderson, author of Shut Up and Prosecute out of Dallas. I'm going to start with you, Zabor. Look, this is real simple. Republicans are playing for keeps. I don't understand why Democrats don't understand that you got to be as ruthless as they are. I love Senator Louise Lucas in Virginia, where she said, damn that, it's going to be 10-1. And in fact, I think it was Senator Tim Kaine had said something against it, and she basically said, hey, man, keep your damn focus on D.C. We got this in Richmond. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Definitely. I mean, we have to have people that's going to stand up and fight, that's willing to protest, that's willing to do the things that we need to do to represent the communities that we represent. If his communities are saying, hey, what are you going to do? How are you going to stand up to this? We're tired of seeing scary Democrats that are not fighting for the Voting Rights Act. Like, we have rights. The communities have rights. We need people that are going to represent us in a way that protects our rights, that ensure that we are able to vote, that ensure that we're not going to let them just keep taking away these Democratic seats by their redistricting of these maps. They're weakening the power of our communities. They're weakening our voices. And we have to have some kind of fight. We got to get in the fight. And so when you have senators that are willing to stand up for the people in the communities and their rights, I can't do nothing but shake my head and be excited and happy that we have people that are willing to fight back.
Thelma, I cannot stand weak as leaders.
Listen, when I saw this, I said, we got to stop pretending like these Democrats are not acting like pussies, because we are in a power position to affect and to bring change, something that we haven't had the ability to do based on what has been going on. And to have the audacity to use the fucking Supreme Court as an excuse, and then the Supreme Court come and do a reverse Uno on you and tell California, yes, you have the ability to do what you're doing, so what's your excuse now? Because now it's looking like, who's benefiting from your silence? Because your silence is affecting the people that is ultimately going to show you better than they can tell you that you're playing politics when you're playing with people's life, and they put you in that position to make those hard decisions and not be afraid and call the bullshit like it is. And the fact that y'all are not doing that, and you have the opportunity and the ability, and California gave you the fucking blueprint, and you're sitting over here making excuses that you no longer have, I need to know who paying you for your silence.
Greg, at the end of the day, it's some folk who are just weak and they are unwilling to fight and engage the way you're supposed to fight.
That's very true. And generally speaking, we live in an idiocracy, very low information voting across the board. And I think as a result, when we enter conversations like this, I think we have an information deficit. To the best of my knowledge, Bill Ferguson is not a quote unquote conservative Democrat, not a soft white nationalist. He comes from a labor background. His economics background may be a little bit more centrist or right leaning. But if his argument is if this were to take place, it might jeopardize some other Democratic seats in the congressional delegation, then I'd like at least to hear that debated and discussed. So I'd agree with Senator Ellis on that, 10 toes down. But let me counterbalance that with this. We've seen this conversation in Texas over the last couple of weeks or a week plus now with Tallarico and Congresswoman Crockett, and then a little bit more black, perhaps former candidate for Senate Colin Howard. Whenever you inject race into a conversation, the information deficit not only widens, it gets replaced in a lot of ways with a kind of visceral reaction. Texas probably won't be able to flip those 5 seats to the white nationalist party simply because the demographics don't look like they are in their favor, and the way that the white nationalists in DC are acting, it may even trend further. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the demographics in Maryland, although I know it's one of the blackest states in the country. I'm wondering if that attempt to engage in this process could place some other seats in play. I think at minimum, the conversation has to happen. And I think what will happen is if they do go to a vote, they're going to vote to redistrict. And then we'll all find out in the general election whether or not they'll be able to pull it off. It's a delicate thing because once race gets injected, you know, we get from low information to just straight out stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Last point here, which I keep saying, when I hear, well, if we do this, they may do something in the future. We in the now. We're in the now. Democrats screwed that up when they did not go to Ruth Bader Ginsburg to tell her, retire. No, she wanted to have a woman president appoint her replacement. That didn't happen. Hillary lost. She dies 2 months before the 2020 election. They were able to grab that seat. Democrats did not really focus. Rahm Emanuel was chief of staff under Obama. He didn't give a damn. He used to chastise progressives and liberals when it came to the Supreme Court. Well, what happened there? They screwed up. Scalia died. They were unable to fill that seat. Trump got that seat appointed as well. And so this whole idea, well, if we hold off, if we wait, no, ain't no guarantee. Ain't no guarantee that something's going to happen 2 years, 4 years from now. No, you deal with it right now. You deal with power right now. And that's the lesson these folks have to learn. All right, we're going to go to a break. We come back, we're going to talk with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's making it clear, ICE, you ain't running roughshod in Chicago. He's next. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Bria Baker, and my good sis, Jamira Burley. We are just 2 millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
This is Bill Duke, and you're watching the Black Star Network.
Well, Chicago, the first city in America to leverage local authority to pursue legal accountability for misconduct by ICE officers. On Saturday, Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an ICE on notice order. It directs the Chicago Police Department to investigate and document any suspected illegal activity involving federal immigration agents. Mayor Brandon Johnson joins us right now. Mayor, glad to have you on the show. So first and foremost, when federal law enforcement, when they came into Chicago, they came into the suburbs, I mean, they were the mistreatment of people. They were mistreating police officers. They were treating the suburban cops like they were nothing. The rappelling down buildings and having people stand outside in the cold at 3 o'clock in the morning in this one building, and nobody who they zip tied were even arrested. That to me showed their lack of disregard for laws. And Donald Trump basically has said to them, y'all can do what y'all want and I got your back and you will have federal immunity. What you're saying here is, okay, he may give you federal immunity, but you break local and state laws, you have to deal with that.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me and thank you for always providing the clarion call for justice in our country. Look, you know, the President of the United States of America made it very clear. He has declared war on the city of Chicago and American cities across this country. He said that the city of Chicago is going to find out why we changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And the case that we are making in Chicago, and the case, quite frankly, that's being made all over the country, is that no one has absolute immunity in this country, regardless. And what we have seen here in Chicago and around the country, but specifically in Chicago, we have seen that Trump's personalized, militarized force, also known as ICE and essentially the Border Patrol agents as well, is that they have, you know, shot and killed a father just outside of the city of Chicago who was dropping his children off to school, Mr. Gonzalez, Villegas Gonzalez, apologies, and shot a woman on the streets of Chicago 5 times. And we're blessed that she was actually able to survive that. But we also saw federal agents raid a South Side apartment where Black families were yanked out of their homes in the middle of the night, children, many of them without even clothes on. And Black folks were put into one vehicle. Families who were ostensibly undocumented were placed in another vehicle. And we saw a federal agent crash their vehicle into a vehicle of a Black man on the west side of Chicago. And then they put him in an illegal chokehold. And as you know, and as your viewers know, an illegal chokehold by law enforcement, that's a death sentence in America, particularly for a Black man. And so what we have done here in Chicago through this latest executive order, and I've signed a series of them, is that essentially creating a pathway for accountability. Because in a normal situation, Roland, as you would know it, the federal government would hold itself accountable, right? The FBI or other federal agencies would essentially investigate, you know, claims of abuse of power. We don't have that right now. And so if the federal government is not going to hold the Trump administration accountable, then the city of Chicago most certainly will.
That was the case, and we look at what happened in Minneapolis, and they are pursuing that investigation, pursuing local and state charges. And the bottom line is there are laws. Just because you're federal law enforcement don't mean you can do whatever you want. You might be on the federal level, but there are laws in this country that you have to abide by. And the mistreatment of citizens, snatching folks out of cars, people, and then, you're letting them go, dropping them off a mile or 2 miles or further from where they actually got picked up. Just a callous disregard for people.
Yeah, it's quite severe, and it's a threat to our democracy. And Roland, look, man, we know that our democracy is not perfect. We recognize that, and as Black folks, we have worked tirelessly to create justice in this country, and not justice just for our own personal plight, but justice for all. And the behavior that we have seen from these federal agents, where they have indiscriminately released tear gas in communities where children were on their way to school. Dozens of police officers were also impacted by this reckless behavior. We've seen journalists blasted and shot at with pepper balls, detained, and now we're seeing more journalists get attacked by this administration. And the part that is quite disturbing is the fact that you have Republicans in Congress or Republicans around this country that won't speak the truth, right? And so now it places a great deal of responsibility on local government, right? Never in a million years, Roland, did I think that as mayor of the city of Chicago, I would have to work to build safe, affordable communities along with defending the city against federal attacks. But yet here we are in, whether it's the executive order to create a pathway for prosecution and accountability, or an executive order to protect our First Amendment rights, an executive order to prevent ICE from setting up its raids in public spaces. The other element of this that I just think that people should get their arms around is that there are only two other forces on the planet that have a larger budget than ICE. That's the United States military and China's military. The militarization of ICE and the militarization of our cities right now is of grave concern. But I'm going to use every single tool that's available to me, whether it's executive orders, whether it's legislation, whether it's litigation, every single tool that is at my disposal, I'm going to use to protect the people of our beloved city.
Question, Thelma, your question for Mayor Johnson.
One thing that, as a former prosecutor, I think a lot of people are trying to understand how a district attorney's office who has the ability to bring charges to these individuals without even having to go through law enforcement, what kind of measures are y'all putting into place in regards to prosecution when we've seen, of course, what's happening in Minnesota, and they are having the inability because they are protecting these individuals?
No, that's a great question. I have the authority to direct my law enforcement to collect evidence, to preserve it, to ensure that medical care is available in the event a violent incident takes place on scene. The state's attorney has complete autonomy to accept the evidence and prosecute these cases if there's evidence brought before her office, like any other case. But you're absolutely right. The district attorneys around this country, as well as state's attorneys, depending on how they are classified in their various counties, have the ability to receive evidence and bring forth prosecution. In fact, our state's attorney actually said that if there's evidence brought to her office, that she will prosecute. And so what I've essentially done, because I have the ability and the authority to direct my law enforcement to, again, not just capture evidence, but to preserve it, and then this evidence can be brought before the state's attorney. It's within her right or her authority to pursue these cases like any other case. Now, the one encouraging thing that is taking place right now is that the district attorney in Philadelphia, Larry Krasner, is organizing district attorneys around the country to do just that. And so what I decided to do was, and I think everybody knows that, precedent is something that law looks to be able to determine what can be done in the future. So we decided to go first in Chicago to begin to provocate the conversation, because if we do not hold these people accountable, these individuals will be able to get away with murder. And that it's a threat to our livelihood and to our experiences, especially because we know that the ultimate goal of this president is to prevent elections from happening. And if we don't hold this administration accountable, if we don't provide evidence for prosecution, if we don't move forward with that evidence to prosecute, there's nothing stopping this president from continuing this path of behaving with this ideal of impunity. And that's something that we have to avoid if we're going to protect our democracy, working people, and particularly our folks across this country.
Greg Carr.
Thank you, Roland, and thank you, Brother Mayor. It's good to see you again, brother. I want to ask you, and it was very encouraging to hear this coordinated effort. I'm sure that's clearly coming out as we begin to see folks going to the courts. Could you say something about how you're working with the state on this? I was reading the Bivens Act, the Illinois Bivens Act, of course, from December, which was signed, of course, there in Chicago. And I'm wondering if you have any thoughts about this really attempt that you all look to be leading in to enable folks to pursue federal officers like ICE for these knowing violations of the federal Constitution. We know, of course, the Illinois state Constitution has a supremacy clause issue there if it conflicts with the federal Constitution. But it looks like you all might have identified the gap, because Congress has not spoken on this. This will certainly go to the court. But how strong in this coordinated effort is the possibility that you might have drawn down on the crack that might enable us to go after these guys for knowing violations of the federal Constitution from the state and the local level?
Yeah, look, the conclusion that you're coming to is powerful. First of all, every time I see you, the level of books and consciousness around you. Just when I think that I'm doing my part to gain knowledge, then I'm on a show with you, and I realize I need to download a few more books. But look, our Department of Law has been
Brother Mayor,
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Brother Mayor, a bunch of these books came from pals at 57th over there by the University of Chicago. So just know that a lot of stuff came from your town. I'm just letting you know.
Yes, it's a very familiar setup. Trust me, right? But look, our Attorney General, Raul, we have been working closely with his entity, with my Department of Law, around these measures. We have provided joint litigation to the courts, because it's the one place in our government right now where there's some level of check and some balance. Every single case that we have brought before the courts, we have prevailed. Every lawsuit that the president has brought against my administration, we've been able to defeat. And I think, to a point that was made earlier in the last segment about the Democrats missing an opportunity to actually appoint, justices for posterity, and missed that opportunity. We recognize the assignment here, particularly as Black leadership, that if we don't take it to the courts, if we don't organize, if we don't use executive authority, we know what this country is capable of doing. And that's why, I've made this clear across the city of Chicago. As Black folks, we cannot allow the mainstream media dictate and determine what issues are important to us. I can fight this administration to make sure that there's funding for Black student success, while also fighting this administration as it attempts to institute draconian and unconstitutional actions against undocumented families. These things don't have to be mutually exclusive. when you see an overreach of the Constitution, when you see the militarized forces of policing and law enforcement, as a former social studies teacher, I know exactly what comes of that. And so you're absolutely right, Brother Carr, that between the Attorney General's office, working with the state of Illinois, and the Department of Law, defeating this administration in this moment is, quite frankly, the salvation and the grace that I believe Dr. King spoke of. I know everybody claims Dr. King, but he did live on the west side of Chicago where I live. And when he came to Chicago, right just a few feet from me, where the office of the mayor is, he stood in that office facing down Richard J. Daley, as he was, daily preventing Black folks from having housing. And we know what Daley said during the convention and afterwards, and the shoot to kill order. But Dr. King said that Chicago has the ability to elevate the consciousness of America, and that if we figured it out in Chicago, we can do it anywhere in the world. And so it's that motivation that continues to guide me in this moment. Again, whether it's joint lawsuits, organizing people on the ground, using my executive authority to push back against authoritarianism. I guess I'll just, end with this, at least at this point. Justice Brandeis, the first Jewish American to serve in the Supreme Court, he said that you can either have a democracy or you can have wealth in the hands of the concentrated few. But he said you cannot have both. And so we have reached that point now, 100 years later, where it's going to take all of us, the soul of America, Black folks. A great writer and scholar once wrote about that if this democracy is going to survive and become better than what it was, it's going to be up to Black political consciousness that has to elevate the thinking and the paradigm of this democracy.
Zabor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all you're doing. As a social worker, I just want to know, to the critics, can you make clear how this order is not symbolic politics, but actually protects the residents of Chicago? And me thinking of just how community trauma happens with ICE entering in our communities, I'm just curious, how do you let the critics know that this is not just politics as usual?
Yeah, it's a great question. And what I say to individuals who are worried about that, one of the reasons why we've been so public about not just the potential surge that we could see in Chicago, but we're also looking at past potential cases that the people of Chicago can bring before our police department, and then that provides us with the evidence that we will need to hand it over to the state's attorney. Look, I don't have control over what the state's attorney does. What I am offering up is that what I do have control over, which is to ensure that our local police department, one, adhere to the Welcoming City Ordinance, which was put in place by the first Black mayor in the history of Chicago, to ensure that local law enforcement would not participate or engage in or support the efforts of federal agents, and particularly with immigration enforcement, especially particularly without a warrant. That is the impetus behind the work that I'm doing. People have laid the groundwork for my leadership to elevate the consciousness of the people of the city and the people across this country. And whether it's a past case or what, hopefully we don't see it, but in the event of a future case, we have the mechanism in place now to deliver that evidence over to the state's attorney. And then, of course, that's going to be on the state's attorney to take it from there, like in any other case. So, I don't have time for symbolism. We know how detrimental that type of, petite forms of governance, can lead to. It doesn't give us much to work with, if anything at all. So just know that I'm committed to delivering justice on behalf of the people of this city. And as long as we continue to unite around our values, I'm confident that this executive order could, again, provide the pathway for absolute accountability.
Last thing I'll say this here, Mayor, you do a remarkable job on not cussing out this crazy reporter who's always asking stupid stuff. Every time I see one of these clapback videos, as the question is being formed and you're standing there waiting for this fool to finish, I have like this thought box that's right above your head saying, I know exactly what he's thinking right now. He just want to say, if this, So I know. You like, man, if I could just be unfiltered every time this fool asks a question.
Well, perhaps there might be a moment, but listen, there's a person in your family, in your home that holds you accountable, and I know she prays for you. And so just know that, as a good old-fashioned black man who was raised in the Church of God in Christ, it don't mean that I can't. It just means that I don't.
Listen, she can pray, my mama and daddy can pray, but then they also know he gonna do him. So yes, so I understand. So, but I appreciate when you do clap back. We try to run it as much as we can, especially when you had a few choice words about the help on the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. So
yeah, look, the provocation in this moment is absolutely real. It does make me. I do appreciate, even as someone who has studied and taught the not just the concepts, but the approach towards liberation. And it's something that I've been challenging our folks here in the city of Chicago. The civil rights movement and all that was accomplished was not coincidental or happenstance. Our ancestors, and many of them are still alive, they went through training, Roland, as you know. And so if we're going to do this well, I've called for this citywide, and we are moving in this direction where we have citywide training apparatuses so that we could prepare ourselves to beat back this government, because of course they want to provoke us in a way that justifies their hatred. And I try hard not to give them any more fuel, but in the words of many of the old saints, help me Holy Ghost.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, always a pleasure to have you on the show. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right then, and if y'all wonder what I was referring to, y'all go ahead and roll when the mayor had a few words to say about Uncle Clarence.
It's come to our attention that Judicial Watch is suing the city of Chicago over its reparations task force, saying that it's discriminatory by race, when you said that it wouldn't just benefit blacks, especially foundational black Americans. So the question is, doesn't deviation from the recently supported case law, I think the biggest one being, I think, in 2023, with two institutions of higher learning, where Clarence Thomas laid out a legislative package for that, make the program unnecessarily vulnerable to sabotage by the courts, race, status by race versus status by injured class?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything that Clarence Thomas has ever done that has benefited black people. I'm just not aware.
Well, I just told you.
Yeah, well, you read something, but there's no evidence that anything that the justice has ever done on behalf of the interests of black people or even marginalized people in general.
Well, it's in his concurrent opinion, but anyway.
We got it.
But as far as any lawsuit against the city of Chicago as it relates to reparations, the whole point of reparations is to repair the harm that was done to black folks. That's what it's designed to do. As you might know, is that the Department of Justice, under the leadership.
Hey, that's one of those where if you sit in a news conference, you just want to say, man, sit your ass down. That's just me. But I do enjoy the Mayor Brandon Johnson clapbacks. I really, really do. Because they are always quite entertaining. All right, y'all. We're going to go to a break. We come back. Second half of the show, lots to talk about. We're going to talk about, again, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but Virginia, the Democrats there, they like, yeah, we're going to use our power and maximize our power. That's the way you're supposed to do it. So we're going to talk about that. Also, Donald Trump targeting black people again when it comes to the Medgar Evers, the home where he was in Jackson, Mississippi, where he was shot and killed. We'll tell you what the latest dumb stuff that they're doing. We'll talk about, of course, today's National Prayer Breakfast, where that fake Christian actually stood up there and just embarrassed himself. And wait until we play for you the prayer of Senator Jonathan Jackson he was talking to that evil imp standing behind him. So it's a lot we're going to break down, y'all. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Your donations make it possible to do the work, not just this show, but all the shows on the network. If you want to give via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. Click the Cash App pay button to contribute. Checks and money order, make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered, Venmo, RM Unfiltered, Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, a relationship that we have to have. We're often afraid of it and don't like to talk about it. That's right, we're talking about our relationship with money. And here's the thing, our relationship with money oftentimes determines whether we have it or not. Balancing your relationship with your pocketbook, that's next on A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, here at Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, I'm T.D. Jakes, and you are watching the Black Star Network.
The number of children in Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention has skyrocketed. It's increased more than sixfold since the start of the second administration of the twice-impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, Donald Trump. The Marshall Project analyzed data obtained by the Department of Data Project and found that ICE held around 170 children on an average day under Trump. During the last 16 months of the Biden administration, ICE held around 25 children per day. Anna Flagg, a senior data reporter for the Marshall Project, joins us right now. Anna, glad to have you on the show, and also glad to have the Marshall Project, continuing. There was little ups and downs there, and so it's really important. Y'all, the great work that y'all do there is really important, especially with these major newsrooms like the Washington Post whacking so many people. We got to have these deep dives. Let's talk about this here. What's the reason for this many children, this sixfold increase?
Well, I think the experts that I've spoken to are saying that ICE is under a lot of pressure to deport as many people as possible. And they're receiving these quotas from the administration to up the numbers of deportations. And so they're picking up people at every opportunity, detaining them and attempting to deport them straight out of detention. And so that's going to involve picking up families, picking up children. It's just casting a much broader net in terms of who's being targeted for deportation.
And the thing that's quite interesting is that they're under this intense pressure. And I keep telling people, if you look at the deportations under President Biden, under President Obama, they far outnumber what Donald Trump is doing. The difference is he's turned it into a television show where they simply executed a process and didn't make it out to be where these videos and the craziness that you see going on.
I think one thing that has definitely changed is more of an emphasis on taking people in from the interior of the country, so by ICE as opposed to by CBP at the border. And so when you're bringing people in that way, you're sort of by definition going to end up bringing in people who have lived in the country for a long time, people who have families, people who have been part of the community for a long time, who have jobs here. It's really just sort of a different type of detention and a different type of targeting. Yeah, a very different type of thing that we're seeing, where a lot of border patrol type tactics are being used in the interior of the country by ICE.
So we talk about these 170 kids. Have their parents been identified? Do they know who their parents are?
So, yes, so in the Dilley Detention Center, and most of these kids, I would imagine, actually are being detained with their families, so with at least one guardian. Some of them could be unaccompanied, but I would imagine that most of them, I mean, we don't know for sure because we just have the data that the Deportation Data Project has been really heroically requesting and making public. But based on that data, it appears that a lot of this is due to family detention, which is children being detained with their families in places like Dilley.
Questions from our panel. We'll start first with Thelma.
Good evening. One of the questions that I have, and I'm framing it from a legal standpoint because I know a lot of people out there are trying to understand, how is this lawful? Because there's a case, the Flores case, that set the framework, especially for prolonged detention of juveniles and in little kids, that prevent this excessive holding without due process. And I hate to say due process when we're talking about little children, but what is the legal recourse if you know that affords the children rights, even if they are being housed with their parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think the short answer to that is that they're not following Flores. And Flores is a settlement, so it has provisions that ICE is supposed to follow and guidances that these agencies, any immigration agency, is supposed to follow when it is handling and detaining children. So when that comes to unaccompanied children, they're not supposed to hold them longer than 72 hours. When it's children with families, it's not supposed to be longer than 20 days. But even sort of a stronger guidance than that is that ICE is actually supposed to be letting kids out as fast as possible. So what they're supposed to do is, they're never supposed to detain a child really, but when they have one, they need to take every effort to let that child out as soon as possible, and they are not supposed to detain them longer than these limits set by Flores. But what the data shows us is that they're not actually following these Flores guidances, and lots of children are being held longer than they're supposed to be held.
Deborah?
I'm just thinking about the safety and the well-being of families that may have kids that are immigrants that have not, they're not educating their kids, or they don't really know how to educate their kids on how to be careful in this environment. So my question to you is, what would you tell a parent of a child that may be undocumented, or just as they walk around and could easily be traumatized by the events that are going on? How would you prepare our immigrant parents to protect their children?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question, and that's a really difficult question. The advocates that I've spoken to are really the best people to go to for advice about that. But what they're seeing is these networks of immigrant communities really kind of stepping up to support each other. You have the ICE watchers, you have people escorting children to school, you have people attending court appearances with undocumented people. These are people just attending the regular scheduled court appearances that they're supposed to attend and are expected to attend, and they're following everything that they're supposed to follow, but still getting picked up by ICE because of these quotas on numbers of deportations that the administration wants. So I think, you know, it's a very hard question to answer, and I think it's really the communities, the immigrant communities and the allies around them that are supporting each other at this moment.
Greg?
Thank you, Roland, and thank you, Sister Flag, for your ongoing work. As you know, yesterday, Education Minnesota, which is a teachers union, of course, filed a lawsuit in federal courts trying to stop this administration from going into schools, near hospitals, bus stops, things like that. Could you talk about where you see these policies? And I think it was Adam Serrer that said the cruelty is the point, going after the children. How does this, how are these solidarity politics being practiced by people now, even like teachers unions, who are saying, stay away from the schools, stay away from these places where children gather? And how much of this is really less about trying to put people out of the country and more about trying to engender this sense of fear and using children? Forgive me for using the word that's been bandied about now, but I think this is probably apropos for what they think, as quote unquote bait to try to trigger adults, among other things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's both things. They are trying to deport as many people as possible, absolutely. And it also appears that they are trying to use the detention of families as a way to discourage people from coming to the country, encourage people to leave on their own. I've spoken to a few experts who said that the use of family detention, and in particular these long periods of detention for families that are really difficult for families to undergo, is a way to attempt to deport people straight out of detention. So if you hold someone for a long time in detention and they're in there trying to fight their case, trying to talk to their lawyer, they have much less resources, right? They just have much less power to progress their case, and they're experiencing these difficult conditions of detention, and they're maybe seeing their child experience these conditions of detention. And that might make someone who even has a perfectly legitimate, like, legal pathway to staying here just decide, you know what, I'm just going to leave this country as a way to get out of detention.
All right, then. Anna Flag, great reporting there for the Marshall Project. Folks, be sure to go check out the Marshall Project's work. There's online, and we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, come back from break. We'll talk about Virginia, their 10-to-1 map, and we'll talk about how Donald Trump wants to let you know that don't call Byron Della Beckwith the racist who killed Medgar Evers. They're like, don't call him a racist, because that's just not nice. Yeah, seriously. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that that idea, essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War, right up to today? On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Swing Cash, Basketball Hall of Famer, and you're watching Black Star Network.
Earlier, we talked about the changing maps in Maryland, yet Virginia Democrats today announced that they have agreed on how to redraw the state's congressional map in preparation for the 2026 midterm elections. Now, the agreement comes as the court battle regarding legality of the entire process continues. Virginia House Speaker Don Scott, Senator Louise Lucas announced they are going to release a 10 Democrat to 1 Republican congressional map by the end of today or early tomorrow.
Donald Trump knows he's going to lose the midterms. He knows it. That's why he's started this mess in the first place. I try to tell you all that. First he calls Texas, give me more seats. Then that's not enough. So he calls North Carolina, Missouri, Ohio. I need more, I need more. Today we are leveling the playing field. These are not ordinary times, and Virginia will not sit on the sidelines while it happens. We made a promise to level the playing field, and today we're keeping our promise. Our maps are ready, Virginia's ready. We said 10-1, and we meant it. And we are proud to deliver a map that stands up for democracy, to stand up for Virginians, to stand up and give us a voice. He started this mess, and Virginia is going to finish it.
Virginia to the rescue. Senator Lucas said it best. We've been working really hard to make sure that we got this delivered. This is about leveling the playing field across the country. Republicans are gerrymandering maps to override the will of the voters. We just saw it in Texas, North Carolina, and Missouri. At Donald Trump's direction, they're manipulating election maps because they know they can't win on their agenda in 2026. So instead of changing their ideas, they're trying to rig the system. A 10-1 map levels the playing field, and we're ready to move forward. Today, we're making good on our promise by releasing the maps publicly. We're going to get them released either by the end of the day or early tomorrow. We'll get those maps released. And putting them out in the open and allowing them to be debated the way they should be in a democracy, we're going to leave it up to Virginia voters. The maps are ready. Virginia's ready. And as my senator said many times, 10-1. 10-1.
See, this is what I mean about Black Power. What you just saw, pull the video back up. This is what you just saw. You have Don Scott, native of Texas, who was the Speaker of the House in Virginia, first African-American in history. You got Senator Louise Lucas, Speaker Pro Tem. She is the one who controls the money there. These are two black folks, Greg, who understand how to use power. They ain't even been in a month with Spanberger being the governor, and they've already pushed through 4 major bills. That's what you're supposed to do. When we go to the polls to elect you, we expect you to use your power. I hope the black Maryland senators get some guts to publicly stand with that brother and say, if you're going to have power, use it.
Absolutely. We're at another inflection point. I guess we've always been at them since they trafficked us over into this criminal enterprise. But it's clear that Virginia, you see black people not only in power and in authority, but because of their hard work and because of the work of every single person who went to the polls last year, they have been able to run over any traces of resistance, even within their own party. By contrast, in Maryland, this Senator Bill Ferguson out of Baltimore, the Baltimore area, remains a figure that they haven't been able to break his political power yet. I think ultimately he will be overcome. I think the circumstances demand it. Again, this isn't a nation. It's a country. It's a polity with a lot of different formations in it. And what these white nationalists have done, and I think we should all be crystal clear about this. You can say what you want about Stephen Miller or Noam or any of these other people. This is the hand of Steve Bannon behind this. He is absolutely 100% correct about this. They are fighting a civilizational war to keep white supremacy going, and I embrace him for it. Because when we break their backs this time, it's going to be permanent. And in Virginia, what they understand is that you've got to now step on their necks. I'm sorry, Senator Ferguson. You're behaving like a white nationalist right now out of Baltimore. The citizens of Baltimore, the mayor of Baltimore, the city council of Baltimore, the rank and file people who live in the city should rise up, not just black people, but everybody else in your district, in your area, call you, overwhelm you, and reform you until you get out of the way. This is now on the people who live in Mr. Bill Ferguson's district. Because in Virginia, the opposition has been removed and they're doing what they need to do with power. Baltimore just got one little white nationalist, little soft white nationalist standing in the way, hiding behind the idea that somehow he's trying to fight for his party. Well, this is not the time for that, my little friend.
Velma, I'm telling you, it's a trip. It's a trip to sit here and watch weak Democrats. I mean, it drives me crazy. And I'm gonna find the tweet of Louise Lucas, because I'm telling you, let me tell you something. That's a feisty Delta right there, and she ain't got no problem telling fellow Democrats to go sit your ass down if you cross the line. Like I said, you know, when she injured her foot, she was in a boot. She's like, "Yeah, I've been putting my foot in Glenn Youngkin's ass," and that's exactly what she did. And the thing that was hilarious to me, oh my God, I gotta find it. Again, Senator Tim Kaine made a remark about what they were doing, and she checked him and literally said, hold on one second. Let me blow this up for y'all. Because she wasn't playing. And I'm like, that's what I know. Hold on, I'm pull it up. That's what I'm saying. When she checked these fools, she ain't got no problem. So she ain't bowing down just because you're a United States Senator. She gonna let you know exactly how she feels. And so Kane had made some kind of comment about changing the map. And let's see here. Hold on one second. Away here. Let's see. There we go. She says, "I have the utmost respect for Senator Kaine and Senator Warner, but we do not need coaching on redistricting coming from a cuck chair in the corner. How about you all stay focused on the fascists in the White House and let us handle redistricting in Virginia, 10-1.
She said what she said.
She said, and we're going to stand right behind her, 10 toes down. And if anybody got something to say, we pulling up, we popping out. And anybody can get it on any day of the week. And that's what it means to be a fearless leader. Because you're not worried about what somebody say that they want to happen. No, you know what the people need and what the people deserve. And when I think about what they're doing in Virginia, we, the millennials, we have adopted our own updated Negro spirituals. And this is giving me Nuck If You Buck by Crime Mob. So y'all nucked, we about to buck back, and we about to show y'all better than we can tell y'all. Since y'all wanted to come play, we finna show you how to play. Since that's what type of time we on, we finna add up this time and see how you like it. And what is crazy to me is the judge stated that they didn't follow the Constitution. They not fucking following the Constitution right now. So what are we talking about? Do the Constitution even exist? So what is that even an argument for? Is that something to make you feel good? Because your president ain't following the damn Constitution. So I love what Virginia is doing, and I love that energy. And that's the kind of energy that we need to keep, and we need to get rid of these weak, sourpuss-ass Democrats that don't want to do nothing.
There was some reception in Virginia, and she was going through the crowd, and she don't care. Let me play y'all. Listen to this. Zabor, that was this great. That was a tweet that was posted. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up. And it was Congressman Brendan Boyle said, "Want to beat a Democrat who is tough, savvy, and playing to win? Her name is Senator Louise Lucas. If I'm ever in a foxhole fighting for my life, I want her having my back." This is also the reason, because I think, if I'm correct, I think I ain't gonna get her age wrong. But I think she is 82. I think she's 82. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this thing right. Because she was born January 22nd. Now, yeah, she's 82 years old. She turned 82 in January. The thing here, Zabora, this is also why millennials and Gen Z love Maxine Waters. See, this is the thing that I keep trying to tell people they don't understand. And I know the feeling. I know, listen, when I travel and there'll be some young folk roll up on me, they be like, "Yo, Uncle Ro, you be going off." It doesn't matter your age. The question is, do they see you fighting for them? And that's the real lesson. If you are an elected official, it doesn't matter if you are in your 80s, your 70s, your 60s, your 40s, because it's some folk in their 20s and 30s who ain't no fighters. So it ain't about age, your demographic. The real issue is, are you swinging for folk and standing up for folk? That's the real issue.
Definitely. I mean, it was the mink for me. She was confident, she's competent, and waiting for fairness from systems that benefit from everything that's unfair is a waste of time. That ain't never worked. From the Reconstruction to the Civil Rights Movement, we have always progressed when our leaders came and was ready to fight. They were strategic. They matched resistance with strategy. You know what I mean? So it's really important that she is in there. She's not backing down. It's 10-1. What y'all gonna do about it? We're here. We're fighting. Y'all not gonna just keep doing what y'all want in these southern places or in these Republican places and think that we just gonna sit here and allow y'all to take all the progress that at 82, she's been through so many different eras of seeing the fights that we've had to fight. So for her to still have fight, it says to the young person like me, you got to do something. You can't keep sitting on Twitter and not doing it. She's on Twitter and she's outside at 82. So we don't have an excuse as a millennial, as Generation Z, especially those individuals that are college educated that know better. We got to do something.
You know, I just, again, in this moment, we ain't got time for niceties. You know, we're always talking about, I mean, here's a perfect example. These Klansmen, these white supremacists in this administration, you know, we got the 250th anniversary of the country this year, and they are trying to strip all of the truth out. We already saw what they did with the slavery exhibit in Philadelphia. So this is what they're doing in Mississippi. This is from Mississippi Today. There are pamphlets that pass out when you go visit the Medgar and Merle Evers Home National Monument. The pamphlets they pass out. They now have edited the brochures that reference Brian Della Beckwith. This is the racist, the violent racist who assassinated Medgar Evers in his driveway. He died in front of his wife and his children. And they have edited they removed any references to him. They've eliminated also the reference to saying Medgar Evers was lying in a pool of blood after being shot. They also, the original brochures pulled from the home called Beckwith a member of the Racist and Segregationist White Citizens Council. Now they don't want to say that. Now you got to keep in mind, Trump signed this executive order calling for restoring truth and sanity to American history. And so Doug Burgum, who was the Interior Secretary who oversees the Park Service, His own order called for the removal of descriptions, depictions, or other content that inappropriately disparage Americans past or living, including persons living in colonial times, and instead focus on the greatness of the achievements and progress of the American people, or with the respect to national features, the beauty, abundance, and the grandeur of the American landscape. So let me go ahead and unpack that for y'all.
Yes.
What they really are saying is, don't call them racist. Don't call them slave holders. Don't say that Thomas Jefferson, don't say that Sally Hemings was a woman who bore his children. Don't say she got raped. Don't say that she was owned. They don't want to say none of that. But when you talk about Byron Della Beckwith, this man didn't give a damn. This man, he did not care, don't care. He was a violent racist to the end. He was nasty. He was despicable. And see when you go to Jackson, they have a whole. This when I was there. This is the home. It's in that driveway right there. You see on the left. That's where he got. That's where he was shot and killed. Byron Della Beckwith's punk ass, as he rests in hell because he was an evil son of a bitch. He fired at him from across the street, killing him, and was finally brought to justice decades later. But that's who this man is. And see, Donald Trump, they want to strip all of this. They want to strip all of this. So when you go there, let me fast forward this video. So when you go there, you'll see. So this is what it looks like right here. So you'll see they have the sign out there. So this is a part of that home now is part of the U.S. Park Service. So what you're going to see is when I was visiting, when you come around that corner, you're going to actually see how they have descriptions on the outside of the house, what took place. It was closed that day, so we couldn't go inside. But you see right here, you see how they have all these descriptions. So what you're seeing right here, what Donald Trump wants to do, where you see these descriptions, where you see explanations, they want to strip anything that hurts the feeling of white folks from this. This shows you the evil of these people. And so that executive order, oh, no. Let's talk about just how amazing and wonderful and the grandeur of America. They don't want this generation to know about the heinous, evil, shameful crimes committed by folks in this country, Greg. That's why they want to ban books. That's why at Texas A&M, the regents want to control what's taught in the classrooms. That's why they want to control the curriculum, because they do not want the next generation and the next generation to truly know about the heinous, despicable history of America and its treatment of African American, people of African descent, of Asian Americans, of Latinos, of women. They don't want folk to know none of that stuff. They just want everybody to keep believing the lie of George Washington chopping down a cherry tree and how everybody else was go along, get along.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with the thing right in front of us, and thank you for sharing that footage, Roland. I've been there a couple of times, and it's something standing in that under that portico, isn't it? And realize this is where Medgar Wiley Evers lost his life. First thing is they will be going to court. Somebody's going to court. In Philadelphia, shout out to our brother Michael Cord and the Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. I was actually on a call with Mike and the crew, including a crack team from the University of Pennsylvania Law School, a clinic there led by one of the sisters who's a lawyer there and a law professor there. They went into court. Shout out again to Sherelle Parker, the mayor of Philadelphia, who instructed the city solicitor to go in. And it was a George Bush appointee, the judge there, as has been talked about here, who went in. Actually, she went in, I want to say this past Monday. The arguments were heard Friday, and then Monday she said, show me where you took all the stuff that you took down, and issued an injunction. Don't touch nothing else. So the first thing is to go to court, and the cause of action, at least the legal argument, will be that you are discriminating against Black people. It's a racial discrimination argument. It's 14th Amendment argument. And I think that they have a great chance at success. But that's the legal question. The broader question, I think, I'm not ambivalent. We're all 10 toes down to fight for ourselves. What I am is very clear. I embrace Donald Trump and Doug Burgum, all these people from Klan central casting. I embrace them all. We remember what happened 50 years ago in 1976. Black people in that same city of Philadelphia we've been talking about went to the mayor, a purebred racist named Frank Rizzo, former police commissioner, and said, you're going to put public dollars behind an African-American museum in Philadelphia, or everybody coming to this city to celebrate the bicentennial, oh, we're going to have a dance. And that is where the Philadelphia African-American Museum came from. It is also the year that Black folk around the country organized, and the first National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center was erected in Wilberforce. This is the 250th anniversary. Let me be crystal clear about this, in case anybody is not clear. I don't give a damn about the United States of America. You celebrate your settler colony any kind of way you want. Byron de la Beckwith is your brother. You should embrace him. You should elevate him. You should put his face on the money. Do what you want, because this is what you're going to reap. Since you're going to reap the wind, you sow the wind, you're going to reap the whirlwind. Guess what? Wasn't there a Black kid under the center for the University of Mississippi that took you within a hair's breadth of the national championship? As we get all this other stuff restored to the parks, guess what? Let's print up our own pamphlets. Let's go out there and hand them out. And let's tell everybody that you will be out of your young Black mind if you go throw a football for Ole Miss. Let these white boys repopulate their football teams. Let these white girls go play basketball. I don't care whether it's South Carolina. I don't care whether it's Ole Miss or University of Texas. Y'all can go to hell. You can keep your settler-ass country, because this time we're not going to pull you out of the fire. And if you come on this property and try to take something out of our hands after we done printed these pamphlets, oh, you're going to find out something else. And that's when these white boys going to find out they ain't got the muscle. I'm saying, let's just finally have this out. Let's just finally have this out.
Thelma?
Sign me up. Where I put my name at to be a part, because I'm ready. On site. You hear me? The one thing
on site.
On site, they can get it. Trust and believe. The same thing that you're saying about Ole Miss is the same thing that needs to be said about LSU, and how Louisiana is doing the exact same thing. And when I think about my nieces who are 9 years old and how they are not being enriched in school with our history, I remember growing up and being so excited about Black History Month every year, because I knew I was going to get to learn and take in our rich history. And that's when we felt seen, because we got to not only report on our people, but we got to be embraced for the culture and the richness of who we've always been. And when you see that they're trying to take away our legacy, and some of the legacy is being as dark because of them, it shows you the power of us knowing who we are that they don't want us to remember. They want to wipe every piece of history that makes them look bad and shows that we were the victim. Because how dare they still have to live with the evidence of their ancestors, and we can't live with the truth of ours. That's one of the reasons why I don't care where I go. I always encourage people to learn and go to these historical sites. One of my favorite sites is the Equal Justice Initiative Museum. Every time you go in that museum, you are going to come out a changed person. Something is going to invoke in that emotion to see and feel the essence of what we went through. And that's what they want to wipe away. But they then fucked around and found out, because we're not doing the laying down at all.
Deborah, what I keep saying to black folks is, and I've always said this about why Black-owned media matters, don't you leave it up to somebody who don't look like you to tell your story.
That's
Yeah, definitely.
right.
I was just thinking when you were walking around that museum with your camera and you were taking pictures of the captionings or the text that was on the museums. Museums aren't decoration, it's the truth. It is where our stories have been told. It is where we're trying to keep those memories alive. And they've never allowed us to keep our memories alive. And that's been the importance of oral history. That's the importance of, you need to celebrate those Black newspapers in your town. You need to celebrate the Roland Martins of the world. You need to celebrate the end of NAACP and NAN and all of these organizations that keep our history alive and let us know that we are in history right now. We are making history. It's our responsibility to pass it on to our children. We go to these schools and they whitewash our history, and it looks like corporate gaslighting, if you ask me. Everything Trump is doing in that office, every decision he's making, is to undermine the progress that we have made. And if we're not going to go backwards, we have to make sure that we're keeping this history alive, that we are supporting the institutions that are supporting us, that we are listening to our Black college radio stations and media stations and really supporting those not only with our eyes and with our ears, but with our finances. That's really important. We have to, if you have talent to write or if you have talent to do anything that allows people to be able to know what's going on in your communities and making it to where your communities can understand what's going on right now, it's a collective responsibility. It's a collective responsibility to take pictures, to keep that history alive. And it started with us. We can't keep putting it off and keep waiting for them to get it right or to not act like they're not trying to remove all aspects of DEIA. And it's bad for immigrants, disabled people, people of color, Black. No matter what part of the spectrum you're on, you're being impacted. And even if you thought you couldn't be impacted as a brown person, you're being impacted. Your families are being impacted. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep quiet, or are we going to keep our history alive and keep making history? Use social media for something that makes sense. Write something, make an op-ed. It's too easy. And with ChatGPT, you can find out how to do it if you don't know how to do it. So I think it's just a call to us to make sure we keeping our history alive, make sure we're going to these museums and we're documenting what's in these museums.
All right, y'all. The National Prayer Breakfast. Let me be perfectly clear. People don't even understand the history of the National Prayer Breakfast. That's really a right-wing evangelical thing, okay? So it took place today, and that fake Christian Donald Trump showed up, and all he did was be nasty, trash Democrats. So here's something that this fool actually said today, y'all, that goes to show you what kind of evil, pathetic individual that he is. Listen.
I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID. It polls at 97%. And even the Democrat, the people, the voters, are at 82% for voter ID, but the leaders don't want to approve it. They said they will strike. They will not allow it to happen. It's polling at over 90%. It's called voter identification. When you go to the polls, you show, yes, my name is so-and-so, and I live in the country. I'm here. I can vote. They say, that's not allowed. And no, everyone's trying to figure it out. And they do something to win. You know what it is? They cheat. But let's get on to another subject. No, at that, they're the finest probably anywhere in the world, I would say. But we're trying to pass voter ID and other things having to do with your religion. And getting the Democrats to vote is very, very tough.
There's nowhere in hell I would sit there and allow this man to trash me and I don't say nothing. But something did happen a little bit later. So they had Congressman Jonathan Jackson, the son of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., do, I think it was the closing prayer, I believe. And listen to what Representative Jackson had to say. Reminds me of that white woman who gave the eulogy at the church service after the inauguration. dumbass Trump didn't realize Representative Jackson was talking about your cankle ass.
In the Latin Imago Dei, and we always be reminded we are made in the image of God. In the Latin Verbum Dei, that we also be reminded that we ask for the word of God. Our good and gracious God, we pray for the health and deliberations of the President of the United States. And we pray that you would be the final arbiter of whatever decisions he endeavors to make. That you would increase the stature of his wisdom, because without you, none of us can adjudicate the overwhelming details of leadership and life. Today we pray for America, and we pray for all parliamentarians around the world. The book of Timothy teaches us that you have been entrusted with leadership. Today we pray for the future of this nation, and that you would lead this president into greater levels of compassion for your name's sake. We pray that you would protect him from the iniquities of evil, and that you would give him greater clarity, greater courage, and greater capacity to do what is right in the forever challenges. Today we remind him that the lives of millions of people are in his hands, and that he has the power to turn mourning into dancing, or to reduce the country into a cosmic elegy of chaos and suffering. And it is because of this that we pray that the best of this president would rise among us. For the sake of this nation, for the sake of this world, we pray that goodness and mercy would announce themselves in his life in new and powerful ways. We pray that he would be mindful of the poor, and that he would be invested in the elevation, the alleviation of suffering happening on farms in the Midwest, in the families preparing to bury their loved ones in Minneapolis. Remind him that we are all Americans, all made in the image of God, and that none of us are free unless all of us have our freedoms protected. Many people are not lazy. Many people are simply tired. Many people simply are not okay. Matthew 25 teaches us that faith, that our gifts are given from God, and that we should show them with compassion towards others. But most of all, we pray that you would work out your will in his life. May we all do more for the greater glory of God, because when it's all said and done, we pray as Jesus taught us to pray. We ask that we surrender our all to Jesus. To all hope I give him freely. I will ever love and trust him, and in his life and presence live daily. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Amen.
Thelma, you know Donald Trump don't know what them books he was talking about. He was talking about Matthew and Timothy, and I'm sure Trump was sitting there going, is somebody on the dais named Matthew? Is Timothy here? Can somebody point me the way to 2 Corinthians?
Listen, when he was doing that prayer and Trump is back there actively falling asleep, I'm like, is this the time that we're going to be released from him? Is this the end of an era? Is his eyes going to stay closed? Please let him stay closed, because them sins back there kicking his ass. I could tell them sins was kicking his ass during that prayer, because that man don't know a commandment if it looked him in his face. Like, that man don't know what a commandment look like, what it sound like, what it means, where to find it in the Bible. So for him to get up there and do all that rambling, I said them sins back there kicking his ass during this prayer. He don't even know how to fight back. He just closing his eyes, because the more he open them eyes, the more he know them sins is going to kick his ass. So he decided to bow out, because that's all he could do, because he don't even know what the hell going on.
Man, listen, Zabora, I would have brought some damn blessed oil up there and just doused his hair. It just would have just sat there and I would just poured over his head, and I would have performed an exorcism on stage.
I mean, it's what you said, Roland. They are sitting there as Christians and not speaking truth to power, right? At the end of the day, as a Christian, we have a responsibility to follow the word. Micah 6:8 is just like, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Like, you don't even know these verses. You're not a Christian. And he talks about Democrats not being able to, if a Democrat votes Democratic, they're not a Christian. Well, what about these Republicans that are not seeking justice, that are not defending the oppressed, that are not taking up the cause to the fatherless? You're not doing any of these things. It's giving a white supremacy laced Christianity if I ain't never saw one. But that's not, we don't serve that kind of God. And all of the things that he's doing to people when God told us to love our neighbor, and how can you call yourself a Christian? And how could anybody in that audience not hold him accountable when that's our responsibility as Christians? I can't just sit there and listen to you say all these things that don't make sense, that are not Christian-like. Everything you do is walking in a way that is in opposition to all of the tenets in the Bible, or any religion for that matter. They need to hold him accountable, and they need to get him out of Christian spaces, and that ain't a Christian space. Whatever.
I didn't want to play anything else from this trash gathering, but if you're gonna speak at a prayer breakfast, again, this shows you we know this fool ain't a Christian. We know he don't know Jesus, he don't know God, he don't know he don't know Moses. I keep telling y'all, if y'all want to understand Donald Trump and these white evangelicals, this is Saul. This is Saul. Y'all can go to YouTube. If y'all can go to YouTube and y'all can look up my sermon, my commentary, where I said, y'all said y'all wanted a king, God gave y'all a king.
Lord have mercy.
And if y'all actually go read Samuel, y'all will discover what God said. Let me tell you what the king I'm gonna let y'all pick gonna do. How he's going to destroy you. How he's going to take from you. See, you got some of these fools out here, some of these right wing, especially these black MAGA folk. There's this Negro down in Florida, Kevin something. I'm gonna get his name in a second, and he's always praying for King. He's always praying for Trump, and I'm always reminding people that people always like God. They're like, God allowed this to happen. And there's some people who go, you shouldn't say that. Well, that's also some people who actually haven't read. Because see, when the Bible said God will give the desires of your heart, that don't mean your desires were actually good. God's like, okay, y'all want evil? I'm going to let y'all have evil. Then y'all going to see how evil is. So that's exactly what happened here. He's Saul. That's who he is. He is an evil individual who, one, was scared. Listen to what this fool said today. If you want to understand how not unchristian-like, ain't nothing about this man Christian-like, this is what, you got to be stupid as hell to say this at a national prayer breakfast. Listen.
And I said, this is a really smart guy. If I ever get this thing, I got to get it. It wasn't easy, They rigged the second election. I had to win it. Had to win it. I needed it for my own ego. I would have had a bad ego for the rest of my life. Now I really have a big ego. Beating these lunatics was incredible, right? What a great feeling. Winning every swing state, winning the popular vote. The first time, they said I didn't win the popular vote. I did. But they said, so they'd always say, would always thought they'd introduce it. While Donald Trump did not win the popular vote, I'm sitting up being introduced by a Democrat or somebody. And they say, why Donald Trump did not win the popular vote? He won the presidency. Here he is. I said, that was terrible. I said, we won the popular vote by a lot. We didn't want to play any games. This has been a much different. We had a great first term. We had the greatest economy in history, but this one's going to blow it away. Already it's blown.
So you just lying.
Blow it away.
Oh, I got a big ego. If I would have had a bad ego. They rigged the second election, which I won. Are you telling on yourself, Greg? Greg, this is what I keep telling these people. God said, "Oh, so y'all want him back? Okay, farmers, y'all voting for him? I'ma let y'all have him back. Oh, I'm sorry. Now y'all praying to me about your farm? No. Y'all wanted him. Y'all wanted him. Oh, I'm sorry. All y'all sick ass broke white people in Kentucky, y'all praying, Lord, please, Lord, let them take Obamacare, Lord, but please don't let them touch my Affordable Care Act.
Like it's not the same.
I'm sure the Lord is saying, oh, I'm sorry, y'all wanted, but that's what y'all wanted. When the people wanted a king, God said, I'm not enough for y'all. Oh, so y'all want a king? I'ma let y'all have a king. Hello, America. Now, hello, right-wing America. Now y'all got y'all king. Now what y'all gonna do?
How about that? Yeah, ask Senator Giuliani about what happened when he ran against Hillary Clinton for the open U.S. Senate seat. Wait, not senator. Oh, he didn't win. No. And shortly after that, there was a diagnosis of cancer. Ask those black women in Brooklyn, the Vodun practitioners, what they put on Rudolph Giuliani, if y'all remember. Go back and look. You can look in the archive for that. But, you know, in most African spiritual traditions, in fact, the ones that I'm aware of, and the ones that we created on this side of the earth as we were trafficked, like Vodou or Santeria or Macumba, any of those, for that matter, hoodoo, voodoo. The whole idea is when you wish something on someone else, you got to pay the bill for that. So if you're trying to work a root on somebody, or you wish evil on somebody, you have now dug two graves because you dug one for yourself. This country was conceived in violence. So it's always going to come to this. Donald Trump is a symptom. He's not the cause of what we're seeing. I said that all as a prelude to this. Every one of these so-called Christians are not in fact Christians. David Walker would have said this if he were here instead of in 1829, David Walker's appeal. They are in fact the devils. So I'm not particular to Christianity or Islam or any form of spiritual practice. What I'm saying is in the broader concept of every action has an equal and opposite reaction, what we are seeing was probably inevitable. And I'm saying that in this context. Mike Johnson, whose Christianity is indistinguishable from the Christianity of the Ku Klux Klan or the Nazis, who would consider themselves very pious Christians. He tried to clap back at Pope Leo the other day, and he quoted Romans. I'm not a Bible scholar. This will probably hit you immediately, Roland, and you'll see when he was talking about civil authority and how, if you read Romans, I think it was Romans 12 or Romans 13, it says, you should respect the law. And then I'm thinking that's Paul's letter to the Romans, right? Didn't the Romans? But MAGA Mike is not a Christian. He's a religious fascist.
Yep.
Finally, what we see here is that, first of all, we're all dying. Death is undefeated. That awful day will surely come to all of us, and Donald Trump is not precluded from that. As we listen to that molting flesh bag, as he is literally melting before our eyes, as he moves toward the same night that awaits us all, and the fear now in his shortened breath, in those sucks between words, as we see him literally dying in front of us, and we're all dying, but some of us perhaps faster than others, it seems to me that the little hints and the clues of the things that he is terrified of come out even at adult moments like this. In the first couple of sentences, he says something about a general strike. Winter's not coming anymore, Bozo. Winter's here. And they are terrified now. They may start a war in Iran rather than let that other 3.5 million of Epstein files come out, because that's where the rich stuff is, as bad as the ones that they've already dropped. They may go now and overthrow the government in Cuba, trying to keep him out of the crosshairs. And when you look at the accounting that came out this week that says him and his criminal crime family and that brass, that porcelain-fronted Howard Lutnick and all the rest of these criminals have made $500 million in a year. And now you're going to sue the IRS And that smarmy, mealy mouth Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, sitting there today talking about, or yesterday talking about, well, I'd write the check. And the check would come from us. He literally stealing our money in broad daylight. Do you know what the reaction to that moment is? As Xi Jinping laughs in China and then met with half the damn world leaders in Europe, and between now and a couple of months from now, we'll probably meet with the other people around the world. Winter has come for the United States of America. And this place, if he saw, and it makes a sense, I'll just take a line from the rosters. Babylon is falling.
I'm just saying. All right, y'all. We gonna keep speaking truth. I like we ain't backing down from this. MAGA ain't funding us, and we gonna keep swinging. But the point we keep trying to tell y'all is, this is why you got to have black-owned media. See, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, if a lot of y'all actually spent the time and you actually went and looked at some black newspapers in the day, these were fearless folk. Ida B. Wells had her newspaper bombed twice. I got a mural in my office called hashtag Black-Owned Media Matters. We have all these black-owned newspapers, magazines, first black public radio station, television station. We have her paper up there, but the reason there's no copy of her paper, because no one can find a copy of her. No one still has a copy of her newspaper because they got firebombed. But folk need to understand that that's our history. Folk who were speaking truth to power. So this is a moment where we got to have that. Elections are in November. This is not a moment where we can be running away. You got some little white boy on Twitter sitting here telling me I need to have some humility because I've been calling him out, this Keith Edwards and this other little fool, Adam Cochran, because they've been dogging Jasmine Crockett and boosting James Tallarico. I know both of them. I don't have to trash one to support the other, but what I'm not going to do is have these little imps trying to tell me how I should be speaking. I told both of them, little boys, I own this. Y'all don't get to tell me what I can and cannot say. This is why black-owned media matters, because if we do not have the spaces and the places where we can speak truth to our people, then we're going to be asking somebody else for permission. And I ain't asking nobody for no damn permission. I'll be back.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, a relationship that we have to have. We're often afraid of it and don't like to talk about it. That's right, we're talking about our relationship with money. And here's the thing, our relationship with money oftentimes determines whether we have it or not. Balancing your relationship with your pocketbook, that's next on A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, here at Black Star Network.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
I'm Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League, and I'm watching the Black Star Network.
All right, folks, in today's world, we are increasingly cautious about the ingredients in the products we use. Kim Roxey's search, sparked by her mother's death from breast cancer, revealed that some of the ingredients in makeup are linked to certain cancers. In response to what she discovered, Kim created Lamech Beauty, a cosmetics brand dedicated to providing safe and healthy options for Black women. They offer vegan, natural, and organic products. Kim joins us right now. Kim, glad to have you here. So how long was this journey, and how did you like do one thing and then all of a sudden you found yourself going down a rabbit hole?
You know, Roland, first of all, I am so excited to be here. I am from Houston, Texas.
All right.
Our makeup, yes, we make our makeup in Houston, Texas. And I love your wife, Jackie, so I have to get that out there. But I am so excited because what I discovered, you know, makeup is supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something you love. But it does not all the time love us back. 75% of beauty products marketed to women of color are toxic. And I knew through my mother, who loved makeup, but ended up having metastatic breast cancer, as well as my sister, that I had to do something about the ingredients inside of makeup. And I was really inspired by my mother. She loved makeup. And so when she developed breast cancer, I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out, what can we do better? What are we not doing right? We need to eat this, not eat that. And I saw one of the causes, or just one of the issues, was makeup, your personal care products. And so Lamech is made with no parabens, no talc. We use more natural and organic ingredients. I'm actually wearing our products right now, and that's our Revelation Brow Duo. When my mom was going through chemotherapy and she was losing her hair, and I actually have alopecia and I lost my hair, I wanted to create something that put the hair back on my face with my eyebrows. And I created this Revelation Brow Duo. So I know you're looking at this camera. I see y'all out there. Y'all looking at my eyebrows saying, oh, they look great. They look amazing. But guess what? I brushed my eyebrows in. I really don't even have an end to my actual eyebrow. I want to show you real quick because I believe in keeping it real. I believe in keeping it real. If it's okay with you, Roland, I love to keep it real and show everyone what I come from. So I have no brows here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have no brows here. And I'm going to show you real quickly how I take and I fill in my eyebrows day to day. This is made from natural and organic ingredients. This is the Revelation Brow Duo. This is my personal one, so it's being used. And I take the brow powder and I brush it right on my skin. I brush it right on my skin, and it brings in my brows. This is easy. Anybody can do this at home. This is beginner friendly. This is something that you can do. So if you're suffering with hair loss, you don't want to go and get some type of chemically treated treatment on your face. You don't want to put any type of chemicals that could, end up having side effects to it. People with lupus, thyroid disease, a lot of times your eyebrows don't grow in all the way. And this is who this is for. And then we take the second product. So there's a brow powder and then it's a concealer. We take the concealer and we put it right underneath the brow, and it sort of highlights it. And that's what gave me that highlighted look. And then you just take and blend it. Blend it right down to the skin, blend it in. It just kind of gives you that effect where now your brows actually shape 75% of your face, or the framing of your face comes from your brows. And so when you take and do this, now your eyebrow is nice and filled in. Now I got my eyebrow back. Now you can see the actual framing of my entire face right underneath my brow, and my brow's back. Okay, my brow is back, and that's how it works.
So when you talked about the toxicity, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for years, Dick Gregory talked about toxicity when it came to perms, when it came to that stuff seeping into the brains of black women. Doctors still don't fully understand how thyroids, how fibroids and its impact. And even when you look at thyroid issues, how it's a dramatic increase among African Americans as well. And we have to think about those beauty products and what goes in them and the impact on bodies.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is this: if we are not being served in our communities the proper way, you look at our schools, you look at the roads in our neighborhoods, what makes you think they're giving you good makeup? What makes you think that? Even though we spend 9 times more on beauty products, they actually owe you respect. But instead of waiting on someone to do it, we've done it. I'm gonna tell you, Roland, we manufacture our products in Houston. And in our manufacturing facility there, our chemists, we actually host students from HBCU schools to come in and learn how to become a cosmetic chemist for a day. I had young ladies from my alum, Clark Atlanta University, North Carolina A&T, Bennett College to come learn so they'll know what they are creating, what they're making, and they can actually become the chemists behind the products that they're using. A lot of the people who make makeup for us, make personal care products for us, hair care products for us, do not look like us. And so when we look at even the skin tone, I remember going to get my makeup done for prom in Houston. And I remember walking away from that makeup counter feeling utterly disgusted because I walked away looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. The makeup did not match my skin. And what I decided, even back then, I said, beauty isn't for me, but it is. And so with Lamique, that's what we do. We have our Revelation Brow Duo. We have our brow brush. And what I want you all to recognize is that a lot of times when we buy makeup, we'll buy high-end things like purses and bags and shoes. You're spending more more money on that than you are on what you're putting on the largest organ on your body, which is your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Spend more on your skin. Be more conscious about what you're using on your skin because, to your point, it's your largest organ. I'm an esthetician, and I know that what you put on your face seeps into your skin, then seeps into that bloodstream. So it does matter.
Questions from my panel. Zabor, you first.
I'm from Houston, so hey, Houston girl. My question to you is, hey, my question to you is, when it comes to our skin and just taking care of our skin under the makeup, what Lamique products do you have that you feel like is something that we gotta know about that would be great for our faces?
Absolutely. So we have a cleanser, actually. We have a toner and we have a moisturizer. And that's what I would recommend using. They're underneath the skin. Thank you, JT, one of our team members here. So we use our cleanser, our toner, and a moisturizer. That's the proper way to cleanse the skin. Our cleanser will take all the makeup off your face. It will get all the mascara off, all of that, but without burning the skin. It has natural botanical extracts in it. That's what I recommend using. But then also your makeup should be a part of your skincare. With our foundation, it has the way it feels on your skin. It's like something you've never worn in your life. And guess what? It's not made where you have to go find your right shade. You upload a picture on our website, and we have a custom blend foundation that goes directly on your face and fits your skin tone, and it's made just for you, not for anyone else. So good skin-loving ingredients, even in the makeup, is a part of your skincare routine.
Greg.
Thank you, Roland, and thank you, Sister Kim. This has been a revelation. I didn't realize eyebrows were that important to the face. I'm just every time you're talking, I'm learning something. but I want to ask you about. I was looking at your website, and first of all, I love what you said. You said I can't put my name on that and sell it to people. So it's like, could you talk about these ingredients? I was looking at jojoba and rosemary leaf and lavender flower. You talked about what's not in. Could you talk about that? And then finally, you 12 toes down for the race. That's clear. Could you talk a little bit about your connection to Tulsa and how that fits into your vision?
Thank you, brother, for bringing that up. Because we actually manufacture our products in Houston, but we ship and distribute them from Black Wall Street, Greenwood District. I'm actually in our Tulsa store right now. We have a storefront here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right here, I'm at the end of Greenwood and Third, and I think about the ones that came before me. Actually, Madam C.J. Walker came to Tulsa and trained people. And I have something big coming up where we'll be doing some training here of makeup artists and everything. But she came here, she trained the community on how to be self-sufficient, even in selling beauty products. And so my connection here, Build in Tulsa, I was a part of this We Build cohort where they selected 10 women from across the country to come here to, one, build. And this whole revitalization of Black Wall Street, we're a part of that movement. And we're actually pioneering that movement, being one of the first cohort of entrepreneurs that came here to do that. When I talk about what's inside of the makeup, so if you hear some of the ingredients inside of the makeup, you would kind of think that you're getting ready to drink a glass of tea, something that's going to have some antibodies in it and all that kind of good stuff. But I'll tell you, the rosemary, the jojoba oil, the shea butter that's in it. I would say that for us, we use mica instead of talc. We mix the natural with the science to make it good so it can be shelf friendly, but at the same time, it's friendly still to you and your skin. And so that's very important. I'm so happy you asked me that question.
Thank you.
Thelma to ask a question, but we lost her connection, so we couldn't do that. So, folks, do me a favor. So, here are the products right here. So right here we got the mascara, we got the Revelation Brow Duo, we got the demonstration of that. Brow gel, then of course the Duo brush, and we also have here, what's this?
That's the Custom Blend Foundation.
Okay, the Custom Blend Foundation. So, folks, if you go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, shopblackstarnetwork.com, you can check out all the products from Lamech Beauty there. And so we appreciate Kim being on the show, breaking it down for us. Again, shopblackstarnetwork.com. Send the link, pass it to friends, families, colleagues, you name it. And, of course, these are all Black-owned products that are on shopblackstarnetwork.com. And when you support them buying products, you're also supporting this show and this network as well. So, Kim, we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. You said high school in Houston. What high school?
I went to Madison High School.
Girl, please.
I got kicked out of Madison. I had to go to alternative school on the Southwest near Sharpstown Mall. And guess what? 5 years after being kicked out of Madison, 5 years later, I was opening up my own makeup shop at 21 years old at Sharpstown Mall. So look.
See, the problem.
I'm real OG Houston.
See, the problem is you went to Madison. That's your problem. That's your problem. So just
don't start nothing.
Well, I ain't got to start none because at Jack Yates, we always finished it. So and I'll be what you got to say?
Well, first of all, I'm not gonna let you disrespect Harm Clark like that. You know what I'm saying?
Care, baby, hold up. Don't nobody outside of Houston know about Hiram Clark, but the nation know about Third Ward.
You know what? I'm not gonna let you tear us apart, Roland. I'm gonna bring us back together, and I'm just gonna say South Side of Houston. I'm gonna say South Side.
Oh, now you trying to incorporate South Side. Well, for everybody to know, so tomorrow I'll be repping Jack Yates on the show. Because tomorrow, February 8th is, I'll be repping tomorrow, but February 8th is actually the 100th anniversary of the mighty Jack Yates High School. And so when you're a lion for life. So all them other little schools in Houston, don't nobody know them, but they know about JY.
I'm going to let you have that because my son is an alpha. My bonus son is an alpha. And so I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it as a Sigma Gamma Rho and everything. I'm going to let you have that. I'm going to let you have it.
Just so you know, don't nobody from Madison let Yates have nothing. We take. So just letting you know. All right. Oh, yeah. Come on now. You know. You know.
Okay. We're not going to go there on the football record, though. I mean, I think because I was a cheerleader before I got kicked out. So we can go there because I was part of the, Vince Young days. But anyway, we can go there if we want to.
I just got a question. Even when Vince Young was there, have y'all ever won a state football championship?
See, you like to.
No,
I'm not gonna let you do.
I just want to know, and I know y'all won a basketball championship, but I don't think y'all won like 7 or 8.
You know what? Because I'm not gonna let you do this black on black crime like this. I am just going to say.
I don't. Did y'all even win a girls' basketball championship in basketball? We did.
First of all, let me say in the present day, because I know some people like to live in the past. In this present day, we have some of the most award-winning cheerleaders. If anybody follows Madison High School cheer on TikTok and all of that, I got to go to the present day because
all I know is when you got to go to the cheerleading squad,
whatever.
You are way out the conversation. You can't even compete in the conversation. Kim, just give it up. Stick with pushing Islamic beauty, but you don't want no. Thelma, you back? You back?
Yes.
I'm a Marlin. I'm just Madison Marlin. So I'm on her side.
Zabor, you a Madison Marlin?
I'm a Madison Marlin. So
again.
Oh my. Yeah.
Again. Let me be real clear. I just want to let y'all know. This is Yates driving, and this is y'all in the rearview mirror. Y'all back there. So, I mean, that's cute. That's cute. But
you know what though, Roland? Because a lot of times people from Jack Yates are loud. So what I would say is this. I'll let you have that. We'll play the back. And we'll unite together.
Kim and Zabor, let me help y'all out. Joe Namath said something amazing one day. He said, "It ain't bragging when you can do it."
Whatever.
I'm just saying. So I appreciate y'all little school and the contributions y'all made to. Trust me. Vince Young married my cousin, and I tell his ass direct, "That's cute. That's cute." But you know, Madison can't even touch Jack Yates.
You know what, Roland? Just out of one thing about me, I will never discount an amazing school where amazing, brilliant Black kids go to. I have been to Yates, and I have actually hosted workshops at Yates. I'm with you.
I'm not discounting y'all. I'm just not thinking about y'all.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Don't do that. Don't do that. You know. And I'm from the real ward that count, 5th Ward. So, you know, that little 3rd ward is all right.
I'm sorry.
You know.
Hold on. Stop right there. What school is in 5th Ward?
The mighty Wheatley Wildcats. You
Girl,
better act like
do y'all still exist?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Listen. And Greg, you understand something? Congressman Mickey Leland was a Wheatley graduate. And in 1988, we had a visit to Washington, D.C. When I was at Texas A&M, our Black Awareness Committee. And we went to the meeting with him. And he loved my grandmother's cooking for a catering company. But then we had a Yates-Wheatley conversation. And I told him, "Congressman Leland, you don't want to have this conversation. You don't want to have this conversation." I said, "Now, you know we've been owning y'all for a long time." I'm like, "Don't start." I said, "Congressman Leland, don't start." So Kim and Zabor, y'all need to understand, Mickey Leland was a historic congressman, and I'll go toe-to-toe with him as well. So you can't mess with the tray. 5th Ward is cute, Wheatley is cute. Madison is cute. Jones is cute. Lamar is cute. Worthing, Don Scott, the Virginia Speaker of the House. He's a Sterling graduate. That's all cute. But everybody in Houston know, especially Black Houston, that's Jack Yates, and that's nobody else. All right, y'all. Y'all be sure to get Kim's makeup. Get Kim's makeup so she can sell some makeup and she can make a contribution to Jack Yates High School. So get Lambic Beauty. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com and y'all can support. So please do so. So
I'm so grateful for you and this platform, because one thing we'll say is that the first Black-owned clean makeup brand to launch into the largest beauty specialty retailer in the country, Ulta.com, JCPenney, Nordstrom.com, is a graduate of Madison High School in Houston, Texas, Harlem Clark, south side of Houston. I appreciate you, Norland.
That is great and wonderful, but just remember, when you watching Debbie Allen and Felicia Allen Rashad, they're Yates graduates. And also, just so you know, Kim, Henry, give me a single shot. The reason this is the color scheme of Roland Martin Unfiltered, those are Jack Yates colors. That's all I'm saying. So just letting y'all know. So, Kim, we appreciate it. And so the rest of y'all have gotten, y'all recognize how it goes down in Houston, but they all know. They know it's Jack Yates and the rest of them. They know. All right. Now, Thelma, you in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we same thing. Dallas, Carter. Oak Cliff.
You with all the smoke.
Oak Cliff, DeSoto.
You know, he's making this a Texas thing.
No, it's like when I was working in Dallas. When I was working in Dallas, everybody on Dallas Carter, when Dallas Carter won the 1988 state title, and they were like, the best ever. I mean, everybody know the 85 Yates team, arguably the best ever in 5A history. But anytime, Greg, the Carter people start talking, this is all I say. We never had to give one of ours back. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. No. I'm petty.
You are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm petty. Yeah. I don't play fair.
Oh.
And that's why we love Polo.
I don't play fair.
That's true.
I don't play fair. Matter of fact, I think maybe it was Dallas Lincoln. We got beat twice back to back in the state championship game. They had to give both of them back because they used ineligible players. But I'm just saying, I don't play fair. So that's how we do it. Oh, yes. I don't listen to Michelle Obama. When they go low, I go lower.
Go to hell.
That's right.
Yes.
You go to hell.
Yes. If they hit me in the knees, I'm hitting them in the shins.
Oh, you go after the Jack Yates.
If they hit me in the ankles, I'm hitting them in the bottom of their feet. Woo. Yes. Oof. Yes. I don't play that. I don't play that.
It's strict over there.
Real strict.
That's how we do it. So, all right, y'all. Again, Lambic Beauty, go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, check out their products and support their products. Again, y'all, everything that you see on shopblackstarnetwork.com are all Black-owned companies. When I started this show, we created our marketplace segment to specifically give Black-owned companies an opportunity to talk about their products. The reality of marketing is really expensive, and so we don't just talk on this show about the collective and supporting Black-owned. This is why we highlight different companies. And so again, when you buy products there, so that's why I tell folks, no, we want you to buy them from there, because when you buy products there, portion also goes back to us to fund what we do. And so that's why all of this is critically important. So please support them as well. So that's it for us. Let me thank Thelma. Let me thank first of all, Thelma. I see you got the little color scheme. You know, what happened? The first time she came on, she had the kitchen light on. So, you know, now.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Now she coming back. Now she got the LED lights. She got the LED lights, and then got two of them. Gonna have the purple and the blue. You know. Oh yeah, I see you. I see you. I'm just saying. Who's the black? Is that a black woman in the bikini on the wall? What's that? What's the picture? The other over your right shoulder. Over your right shoulder. The other shoulder.
That's a dress.
It's a dress.
I can't see what it is, so I know it's a black woman, but you got the little art and everything. She trying to be wait a minute, she trying to give me a wide shot of the other side of the studio. See, so Thelma trying to make it look like she in the Black Star Network studio with her little light. I see you. I see you. I see you. Trying to sit there and work with the color scheme. Okay. All right, Zabor, you going to step it up?
I know, right? I gotta get it together over here.
You gotta go get you some Madison lights.
Now, see, you always can take it an inch too far.
That's right. I always do that. So, all right, y'all, that's it for us. Again, let me thank Thelma. Let me thank Greg. Let me thank Zabor. Hey, tomorrow we're gonna do our show. Then we're gonna do a book interview because my man October London in town, so I gotta go see him. So I gotta go holler at him. He's in town. And if y'all missed it, go to our Black Star Network channel, go to YouTube channel, the app, to see my one-on-one with October London. Fascinating conversation. This is one of the baddest brothers in the game, and so he's doing some great stuff. So he's in town tomorrow. So gotta go see him. So again, so check that out. So with the book interview tomorrow. I can't remember which book interview we're going to have, but we'll have it tomorrow. Hey, and then right after the show, we're going to have Dr. Ebony Hilton's her second show, Second Opinion with Dr. Ebony Jade Hilton. You don't want to miss that, y'all. Fantastic new show we have on the network, our health show. Again, I'm telling y'all, the content we doing, y'all, you can't get this nowhere else. There's no other black-owned company that is doing what we're doing. We're independent. We ain't tied to no other corporate entity. They ain't funding us. They're not marketing us. And so this is our folk doing it for us, by us. And so that's why it's important. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Goals get 20,000 folks contributing at least $50 a year. That raises $1 million, offsets our costs. It's $195,000 a month to do all of this. The studio, the staff, all these shows. So that's important. So please do me a favor. Use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here for Cash App. Credit cards as well. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo RM Unfiltered. Zelle Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Download the Black Star Network app. We're trying to get to 200,000 downloads. We get at 170,000. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Samsung Smart TV. Also, be sure to get our Roland Martin Unfiltered swag. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Get that shirt. Don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. MAGA chose between woke or broke. They chose broke. Get those shirts, mugs, hats, you name it. We got it. Then also, of course, get the black-owned products at shopblackstarnetwork.com as well. Download the app fan base. Follow me at Roland S. Martin there. Let's support that black-owned social media app. And please do that. So, folks, that's it. And here's the deal. This is Black History Month. People have hit me and said, hey, much of this Black History Month. I remind them, we black every day. We cover black every day. So, for us, this ain't Black History Month. It's Black History Day. That's how we roll and operate here on Black Star Network. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow.